If you saw my last video, the 9 things I hate about the Kia EV9 and thought, Chris, you're an idiot, you don't know anything about cars, anything about electric cars, you're nitpicking at this point, I don't care about your opinion. Well, are you guys in for a treat? Because in this video, I'm going to talk about the 11 things I love about the Kia EV9. And if you're good at math, you know that 11 is more than 9, and that means I actually love this car more than I hate it. And in today's video, I'm going to tell you guys why. I really love the exterior design of the Kia EV9, and the more I look at it, the more I like it. I like it even more than when I first saw the vehicle, and even editing this video, looking back at the footage, I'm like, that is one good looking electric SUV. I love the fact that it looks like a traditional boxy, square, and upright large SUV, but at the same time, it has some of those really cool, futuristic, and stylistic details in the headlights, in the taillights. It looks like nothing else on the road, but at the same time, it is very recognizable as a large SUV. On the road, I think the EV9 is, in general, a nice car to drive. It's comfortable, it's composed, it's quiet, it's easy to drive. It's just nice to drive in general. Yes, there are a few quirks here and there that I'm going to talk about, and things I don't like or the things I hate about this car, which is going to be another video, but in general, it's actually nice to drive. And I can't say that about all these large electric cars coming out of Asia. The most, I've driven are these Chinese cars that on paper seem pretty nice and decent, but when it comes to the driving, they're just lacking. You do notice that those brands aren't legacy automakers, and what legacy automakers are really good at is making cars that are nice and good to drive, and this is a good example of that. In general, the interior in this car is actually pretty nice, especially considering that this isn't a premium vehicle, this isn't a luxury car, and it's not trying to be. What you're getting here at this price point, it's not competing with, those expensive luxury cars, even though it is creeping up in price. This is much bigger than something like a BMW iX or an Audi Q8 e-tron or a Mercedes EQE. So don't expect the same level of interior quality and design, but considering that the interior is a nice place to be with soft touch materials on the dashboard, it's only once you go low down in the cabin that you feel these hard touch plastics. But I'm a huge fan of the simple and elegant design in here and the layout. I just think it's functional and it's just a nice place to spend time in general. Today's video is brought to you by Zaptec, one of the best home chargers on the market. It can charge a car up to 22 kilowatts on AC charging and will work with every electric car on the market, including Tesla. It's stylish, cool, and sleek, and you can order it in a bunch of different colors. It actually won Best in Test in the Norwegian Automobile Association's Test of Chargers in 2022. So if you want to support the channel, go to the link down below, find your country, click the link, and order a Zaptec Go home charger from there. It's no secret that I haven't been a huge fan of the Hyundai Kia infotainment system found in other eGMP cars like Hyundai Ioniq 5, Ioniq 6, and Kia EV6. I found them to be hard to use, lacking in functionality, not logically laid out, and also with outdated graphics. But I'm happy to report that the updated infotainment system in the EV9 is so much better than anything I've seen from Hyundai Kia in the past. First off, you still have, that dual screen setup with a gauge cluster in front of the driver. You have an infotainment system screen here in the center of the console. What is different with this setup is that you have a third screen here, which is your HVAC controls, but you do also have physical buttons here to do, things you use a lot, like your fan speed and your temperature and modes and stuff like that. And this screen here, this third screen, is a little bit obscured when you're driving, but I haven't found that to be annoying at all. Maybe it is because I daily a Porsche Taycan where a lot of the, gauges are obscured. I don't know what it is, but I haven't found it to be an issue at all. So this infotainment system just looks so much more modern and crisp, is so much more logically laid out, and it is so much easier to use. And that brings us to the next thing I like about this car or love about the EV9 is the buttons upon buttons upon buttons. So here on the driver's door, you have your heated steering wheel here, you have your heated seats, you have your cooled seats, you have your massage function, your memory settings, and then you have all your mirrors, you have your windows, your child locks, and then on the steering wheel, you have your adaptive cruise control, you have your stereo and infotainment system, drive modes, you have traditional stocks, you have your gear selector down here. As I said, the shortcuts for the HVAC controls, you have shortcuts here for other infotainment system features. It's just so nicely laid out in a day and age where buttons are disappearing from car cabins. This is superb. I really love it. The Kia EV9 all-wheel drive GT line comes equipped with this beautiful two-tone leather interior, this dark blue on this white leather. It just feels soft and supple and really nice to the touch. At the same time, it does feel just solid and sturdy of high quality. It is one of the nicest leathers I've felt in any car that isn't a luxury or a premium vehicle. It is super impressive, but what's even more impressive is that this actually isn't real leather. At first glance, at first touch, it feels like and looks like Nappa leather, but is actually vegan leather developed for the EV9, and that is impressive. This is one of the nicest leathers I've ever felt, and absolutely the nicest vegan leather by a big margin. When it comes to interior space and cargo capacity, the Kia EV9 is outright impressive. Yes, it is a huge car on the exterior, but that doesn't always translate to a lot of space inside the car. But in this case, the EV9 on the eGMP platform, that is absolutely true because this car is massive on the interior. Look at this, guys. I'm sitting behind myself. This seat is set to my driver position, and I have tons of space here in the second row. I'm 5'10" or 178 centimeters, an average adult in the West. So 4 adults in this car can travel in huge comfort. There's also a third row behind here with space for adults. If I move up the seat, I can absolutely sit behind myself. For a detailed interior tour, go check out my review I did last year. But this interior is super impressive. The amount of room here, this in the 6-seat configuration, there's a lot of room here in the middle, and these seats can also swivel around out towards the doors or towards the third row, so you can have like kind of like a conference space here. It is super impressive. And then when you fold down the third row, it has huge cargo capacity. So I think when it comes to a family electric car, there isn't anything on the market today with as much space and practicality as this EV9. This next one I'm super excited to show you guys. So let's hit the setup button there. Let's jump into the EV menu. And here we have manual battery preconditioning. So this platform from before has preconditioning via navigation system where the car does it automatically. Not the best in my opinion. Pretty hard to manage sometimes, especially in winter. So having that battery preconditioning button here for easy access is something that is a game changer here in Norway, especially it being like -8 degrees Celsius outside. We've had as cold as -25 at night the past week. So that is a very welcome feature. You can see that the battery preconditioning starts here with the icon on the battery indicating that the battery is preconditioning. So that is a very welcome feature that you now can manage manually. There's also even a button in the app where you can start it from your phone. And that is a feature I wish absolutely more cars had. This having a usable battery capacity of 96 kilowatt hours, I think it falls right in the sweet spot of where it should. The battery pack size is not too small, we're not getting decent real world range, and it's not that big that the car becomes too expensive. They could have easily given this car, 105, even 110 kilowatt hours of usable battery capacity, but that would probably make this car at least like 10,000-12,000 euros more, making it just not competitive and too expensive. So I think Kia have done proper research here, positioning this car and the battery pack size smack there in the middle. you're going to get a WLTP rated range of a little more than 500 kilometers. Granted, in my range test, now in winter, it being super cold outside, I didn't get close to that. So if you want to see how much range I actually got at like below minus 20 degrees Celsius, go to the link in the description box down below. But this car under normal conditions, in normal weather, is actually gonna get decent range. Again, I'll test that once the weather gets milder in a few months. And also, this car being on an 800 volt architecture, this car is gonna get decent charging speed. So they've dialed back the peak charging speed in this battery pack versus Ioniq 5, Ioniq 6, and EV6 siblings with a small battery pack. Those cars peak at 240 kilowatts. This only peaks at 210, but it has a much flatter charging curve, giving it a 10 to 80% charging time and still a very impressive 24 minutes considering this battery pack size. The last thing I love about the Kia EV9 is the total package. Yes, this car has its highs, it has its lows, it has its pros and its cons, but as a total package, I think this is one of the best electric cars currently on sale, because getting a large, practical electric SUV that is this good looking, drives this good, is this easy to use, has all of these functions, the range, the charging speed, the cargo capacity, the warranty, the styling, yeah. I think this is pretty hard to beat, and I don't think you have a lot of choices if you want a total package that is as good as this. So I love this car, especially as a total package. So guys, let me know what you think about the 11 things I love about this car. Do you agree? Don't you agree? Let me know in the comment section down below. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below. And for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys there, and goodbye.